What's up, everybody? Sparks Comics here, and we are going to be talking about the Final Order Cutoff Indie Comics books that are coming up on this week's cutoff on Monday. We've got a lot of really good books on here. We got some new number ones, we got some 2s and 3s of series I think you guys should be checking out. So let's get into this. We're going to start at the top of the list in the Image Comics section and move down the page that you can find on the Previews World website. So if you want to follow along with what I'm looking at, go to previewsworld.com, go to the catalog area, and go to Final Orders Due, and that's where you're going to find this information. So first up, from Image, we have Black Cloak number 2 from Kelly Thompson and Meredith McLaren. This first issue for this was so good. It's the first book I've put a 10 out of 10 rating on in a long time. Murdered Prince, Hungry Mermaids, Vengeful Queen, Plentiful Suspects, Dead Assassin, Dying Black Cloak. So far, this case is going to the Devils. And it's super great that absolutely everything is on the line. No pressure. We have such a fantastical world being built here with a magical, fantastical police force, lots of intrigue and drama, and I love this world. I need this series for a long time. Next up, also from Image, is Hexware number 3 of 6 from Tim Seeley and Zulema Lavina. Another fantastical world. We got a mix of like cyber future, not cyberpunk exactly, but a little bit of that mixed with supernatural kinds of things. We've got magic, we've got monsters, we've got reclaiming souls from the dead, and a kind of android who has taken on the soul of their former charge, I guess. Just fantastic world that they are building here as well. It's a 6-issue series, though. Unlike Black Cloak, it seems to be ongoing. The android maid of the Marks family has saved Jessie from death by buying her soul, and now she is bound to a new mission in the service of the darkest depths. But while she stalks the streets of Lowtown, the powerful forces that threaten are aware of her existence and plan to stop her immediately. Going into Dark Horse Comics, we've got one. It's a brand new one from James Tynion. This one was part of his Substack and is now coming into print here with Dark Horse Comics. James Tynion, Michael Avon Omig, and Klaus Janson bringing us Blue Book, issue number 1 of 5. From New York Times bestselling and award-winning co-creators of Something's Killing Children, Nice House on the Lake, Department of Truth, and Powers come this ambitious non-fiction comic book experience depicting the true stories of UFO abductions with an eye to capturing the strange essence of those encounters. In this debut issue, Tynion presents what he calls his true weird stories, tales of ordinary people encountering the strange and impossible. Teaming with artist Michael Omig, they retell some of the most popular UFO stories and alien encounters, starting with the infamous Betty and Barney Hill abduction, the widely publicized and very first abduction that went on to shape and influence all future encounter stories. Also includes the short True Weird, Coney Island by James Tynion, Klaus Janson, and Aditya Bidikar. Coming down from there, we're going to go to the comics and graphics novels section. I didn't have anything else in between. And we're going to one from Vault Comics, Barbaric Hell to Pay number 2. Holy crap, Barbaric back, Michael Moresi, Nathan Gooden, putting in the work for this incredible story and making it even better. Owen is in hell. Soren is also kind of in hell. She's made a dangerous pact with Ka, the deadly assassin, looking to exact revenge on a nearly impossible target. Meanwhile, Owen and Deadheart reunite for one hell of wink wink of an adventure. I am so excited for more Barbaric all the time. It is the year of the axe. It's the year of Barbaric this year from Vault Comics, and Hell to Pay is just the first part of that. We've had 2 arcs of Hell to Pay plus it's one shot that introduced Ka and brought, I think it was Harvest Blades was the name of that, and fantastic. I love the world building we got going on. I love this fantasy world that we've got, and the magic, and Axe drinking blood of his enemies. Just fantastic. I love it. Next up, from Mad Cave Studios, Dahlia in the Dark, number 3 of 6 on Cutoff here, and Joe Corallo, Andrea Milana bringing us another kind of fantasy supernatural world, but kind of elements of more real world stuff going on in here. And we have a hostage situation getting out of hand, leading to Donnie going off on his own during the ensuing chaos. The outlaw king of the fairies, dissatisfied with the progress made in retrieving the package, sends a powerful wizard to Earth to end this chase and take back what is rightfully his. Next up, from Scout Comics, we got a new one called Dead Fellows from Cody Hamilton and Ramiro Barallo. It is a non-stop title, meaning it is going to have an issue 1, and then they're going to put out the trade paperback for it. Pete Miller has just gotten out of his 2-year relationship, reeling from the chaos of it all without friends or family around. As he moves into his new awful 1-bedroom apartment, Peter attempts to take his own life, but is stopped by a benevolent ghost. Moved by the kindness of the supernatural stranger, Pete sets out to bond with this ghost at all costs, but he quickly learns he doesn't understand the paranormal or their intentions. Is there something more nefarious in the reason for the ghost stopping his death? We'll find out. I think this could be a pretty cool one to pick up from Scout. Ramiro Barallo is a fantastic artist. I love Ramiro's art, so that's what caught my attention looking at this one, and can't wait to check it out. We're about halfway through the indie comics on FOC that I'm talking about, so if you are new here, loving what I'm talking about, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Let me know in the comments what future books are you looking forward to picking up this year in 2023, and anything that I've talked about already. Are you reading it already? Are you going to be reading it? Drop those comments below and hit the like button as we continue on through the next couple books on FOC for Indie Comics. Next up, we've got from Frank Miller Presents Pandora, issue number 2. Frank Miller, Anthony Maranville, and Chris Silvestri on writing, along with Emma Kubert on the art. And Emma's art is what really brought me to Pandora. As Annabeth and Nox's relationship grows stronger, evil from the outer realm continues to seep into our world, but Annabeth's discovery of an ancient relic reveals the explosive link between the two worlds. A new young adult fantasy created by Frank Miller with art by Emma Kubert and script by Anthony Maranville and Chris Silvestri. And it looks like apparently, besides the cover A, there will be a 1 in 25 variant by Frank Miller. This one, the initial books for the Frank Miller Presents line all, I think, had like a $7.99 price tag. They were, I think, a little bit bigger, had really good quality covers, but the price now drops back to $3.99 normal issue price for comics. So thankfully, it's not a $7.99 price on each one of them. That, I think, would cause me to drop this and wait for a trade. But I am really enjoying this little fantasy story as well. It seems to be the link in a lot of these is we've got some fantasy worlds happening that really are catching my attention. Next up on FOC, we've got from Vault Comics, God Fell, issue number 1. From Christopher Sabella, Triona Farrell's doing the cover here, and Ben Hennessy doing the interior artwork. One sunny day in the land of Karathim, God falls dead from the sky. The impact sends out shockwaves that draw in royal families at war, shadowy creatures of the dark, and armies of the dispossessed, all coming to lay claim to parts of God's body. Into this power struggle wanders Zanzi Vulin, a soldier and berserker, trying to get home from a years-long war. Forced to fight her way through strange landscapes in and on God's corpse. From the soles of its feet through the top of its head, Zanzi will acquire a mysterious traveling companion on her own pilgrimage. The only other book that I've really read that's talking about dead gods is we only find them when they're dead. And this seems to have similar idea that the god's dead, but way different, it sounds like, in terms of location. We're not in space. We are on a world, and we have some wars going on. What impact would a dying god falling to to the planet really have on what's going on? Interesting. We'll find out, I guess. And I am looking further. It does say Ben Hennessy cover art, but also Triona Farrell. So Farrell looks like actually is probably the colorist on the book and the cover. So correction there on that. Next up, going to one from Sumerian Comics. We haven't gotten number 1 out yet, but number 2 appears to be on FOC today. And that is How I Became a Shoplifter from Tom Breyfogle, Juan Romero, Antonio Fabella, David Pupo, and Rock Alves. Crime Through Boredom, a year-by-year look at the final generation of juvenile delinquents before technology took over. Watch the comical cast of characters grow up as each chapter is set in a different year of adolescence. Issue 2 tells nostalgic tales of restaurant heists, fake IDs, illegal tattoos, and gas station tacos. So I believe each era has a different artist on it. Same with the issue number 1. That's kind of the plan. Like each year of what's going on has different artwork, so to get a different style for the year. I like that idea. I like, finding different ways to tell the story other than just saying it's a different year. You got different art that kind of breaks up the idea there. So number 2 of 3 on the cutoff here this coming Monday. Unless that changes, of course, all of these are subject to change. Diamond does shift dates as we near the FOC date, but I think these should be holding steady through that cutoff. Next up is a new one from Whatnot Comics or Whatnot Publishing. We've got Liquid Kill number 1, Max Hoven and Aaron Crow on writing, art by Gabriel Umazark, and a cover by Tony Infante. Liquid Kill follows sadist slaughtering vigilantes as they encounter pure evil in a blood-soaked cyberpunk future a la Ghost in the Shell meets John Wick. Written by the creators of the critically acclaimed series It Eats What Feeds It, and artist Gabriel Umazark from Boom Studios. For the staff and clientele of a mysterious island hotel, it's just another night of luxury and vice until members of Liquid Kill, a notoriously violent all-female militia, lay siege, demanding compliance or death as they gather intelligence. The adrenaline quickly floods the halls as the team eliminates all threats with ease in their search for their kidnapped leader. That is, until something is unleashed, something hungry. If there's anyone prepared for the evils on the island, it's these fearless killers. But when the undaunted begin to falter, their foe must be truly monstrous. I think this one could be among the best of the releases coming from Whatnot. This will be their, I think, 5th release. First of the not initial wave of releases. I wasn't too into some of the earlier ones. Alpha Betas was okay. I think the animation and the show might end up being better. I have not watched it though. Quested has been fun. I like that. I'm going to be continuing that one. And Ninja Funk wasn't for me. But this seems really cool. The Exiled is probably going to be good, but I backed the Kickstarter. I'm waiting on my Kickstarter book. Unfortunately, that means you guys will be reading that before me, which I think is completely wrong for a Kickstarter to do, but that's besides the point. Liquid Kill, I think, though, could be a really good one. It Eats What Feeds It. I've heard really good things from people who have read it. I have not gotten to read that. That was from Scout Comics. So I think this has great potential for a good story. Coming from Source Point Press is one that we haven't gotten the number 1 yet, but it's coming next week, and that is Night Walkers, issue number 2 of 5, from Colin Bunn, Colin Johnson, and Joe Briccardo. Saren, Franny J, Deidre, and the rest of survivors leave behind a bloodbath at the rehabilitation center, escape into the woods, but the hunt continues, and when they stumble upon an eerily quiet town, they'll learn what true horror looks like. I can't wait to read issue number 1 of this. I'm excited for a different take on vampires. I love this cover and the what they've got going on here, using the kind of the space there. Fantastic. I can't wait till next week when it comes out, issue number 1. And last but not least of single issues on FOC, we've got Trojan #2 of 4 from Daniel Kraus, Marco Lesko, and Lacey, with Jeff DeCall doing such an incredible cover here. Like, all of DeCall's covers for this have been so good. Once upon a time, we lived alongside legends, creatures of myth, centaurs, fauns, gorgons, kelpies, gnomes, and more. They were spectacular, majestic, powerful, peaceful, pure. In comparison, we were ugly, weak, warmongering, rotten. Is it any wonder we could not live alongside them? I'm not even going to read through the rest of this because it is the same thing as they did for issue #1, but this world, it's a dark urban fantasy world where all of these beautiful creatures of myth have to really hide who they are, or they get persecuted, they get killed, they get maybe put into snuff films or live snuff shows for high-paying people. And we have a character who is trying to find how to get into these shows, how to really become a part of it for, not going to go into anything that's kind of going to spoil it, but it's kind of the gist of it. And Nessa is a very interesting character. So I'm excited to read more of Trojan. It's a fantasy thriller full of wonder and horror, and really takes you to the darkest places of the world. So that's the issue. The last of the single issues. I got 3 trades, hardcovers that you should check out as well. And that is because these are all nominated on our Indies Awards show. February 5th, we're going to announce the winners, but these 3 are nominated in different categories. We've got 10,000 Black Feathers from the Bone Orchard mythos from Jeff Lemire and Dave Stewart and Andrea Sorrentino. That is nominated for Best Horror Comic of 2022. I'm getting the hardcover because I got the hardcover of that first big one shot to introduce the world. So I definitely need to get the hardcover for this to continue that. That's how I want to collect this story. And then going from there, we've got The Illusion Witch from Sumerian Comics from Ruben Romero and Andrea Errico. That is nominated for Best Comic from Sumerian Comics for 2022. And another one nominated for Best Comic of 2022 from Sumerian. We've got Never Ender. That one from Devin Kraft. Never Ender's also nominated for Best Indie Comic of 2022. So 2 nominations on this one. So all 3 of these I would recommend reading. They're fantastic. Illusion Witch, we've got fantasy and magic. Never Ender, we've got this great sci-fi character-driven story, fighting for survival. It's fantastic. And of course, Bone Orchard Mythos, 10,000 Black Feathers. We've got a great horror story going on here. So a little bit of everything genre-wise in these, but if you're looking to read something in a trade and you haven't picked these up, tell your shop you want to pick these up. That's it. That is everything on FOC. I say that's it, but that was an 19 minute video on all of these books. So there's a lot on FOC this week. That means in a couple weeks, these are really going to be a really big new comic book days. So I'm looking forward to all of the good reads coming out in a couple weeks. And as I said before, if you've made it here, you aren't subscribed, go hit that button. Really appreciate the support joining on. We've got a 1,500 subscriber giveaway going on right now. Go watch the video. I talk about it, and then go over to the Instagram post and follow the directions on how to enter. We're pushing for that 1,500. We're getting closer, but would love you guys sharing out the videos, sharing out the channel so that more people can find us. If they love indie comics, this is the place to come. As always, collect what you love. See you next time.